The Leif Erikson statue is located on a bluff overlooking Lake Michigan in downtown Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The Leif Erikson statue is one of two castings made by the sculptor Anne Whitney in the 1880s. The statue is located in Juneau Park. It shares the park with the statue of an early Milwaukee trading post settler, Solomon Juneau. October 9th was designated as Leif Erikson Day in Wisconsin in 1929, the first state to do so. Later, 6 additional states did the same. In 1964, President Lyndon B. Johnson authorized that October 9th is Leif Erikson Day to, quote, praise the contributions of Americans of Nordic descent in the spirit of discovery. Each year, the Sons of Norway Fossilingen Lodge honors the bold actions of Leif Erikson with a wreath laying. Lodge members Nancy and Milt Sandy are longtime lodge members who have led our lodge efforts to maintain and honor Leif Erikson and his statue in Milwaukee. Leif the Discoverer was the son of Eric the Red. Leif is credited with setting foot on the North American continent in 1001 AD, about 500 years before Columbus sailed to the Caribbean islands. This claim was verified in 1960 when a Norwegian, Helga Ingstead, discovered Viking ruins in Newfoundland. The place is called Langsås Meadows and is believed to have been used by Vikings for repairs of boats and preparation for expeditions to what is now Nova Scotia and New Brunswick, and perhaps even further into northeastern U.S. The Milwaukee Erikson statue dates back to 1887. The inscriptions on the statue pedestal read, quote, Leif the Discoverer, son of Eric, who sailed from Iceland to and landed on this continent AD 1000. And on the reverse of the base, the following runic writing is shown, Leif, son of Eric the Red. A famous Norwegian violinist, Ole Bull, played many concerts in the U.S. and actively promoted honoring Leif Erikson in both Boston, Massachusetts, and Madison, Wisconsin. He was a prime mover in efforts to erect a Leif Erikson statue in both cities. The Milwaukee statue of Leif is a duplicate of the Anne Whitney statue in Boston, Massachusetts. It was erected in Juneau Park in November of 1887, about 2 weeks after the Boston statue was erected. At the request of its donor, Mrs. Joseph Gilbert, there was no dedication ceremony in Milwaukee. Anne Whitney was a well-known sculptor in Massachusetts at a time when few other female artists enjoyed success. One of Whitney's most famous statues is of Samuel Adams, which is in the U.S. Capitol Statuary Hall collection. In 1893, the original plaster version of the Erikson statue was bronzed and sent to the Chicago World's Fair. It is now featured at the National Museum for Women. 2 castings of Anne Whitney's Leif Erikson statue were made. Whitney's papers are maintained at Wellesley College in Massachusetts, including correspondence with Lucy Gilbert, the donor of the Milwaukee statue. I have examined the correspondence between Whitney and the donor, Lucy Gilbert. In the 1990s, it came to the attention of our Milwaukee Sons of Norway Lodge members that the Leif Erikson statue needed major refurbishing. The statue had been erected at the edge of the bluff overlooking Lake Michigan, and there was some serious erosioning threatening the statue. It was in danger of falling down the bluff. A lodge member and a Milwaukee Journal newspaper writer, Lauren Osmond, sought to raise awareness of the statue's threatening condition, and after discussion with Milwaukee Parks, funds were raised to move the statue away from the edge of the bluff. In 1994, the statue was moved, refurbished, and rededicated. The Sons of Norway Lodge in Milwaukee contributed $9,000. Other local Scandinavian organizations also contributed. In 2001, lights were installed to illuminate the statue, and our lodge paid for this project with funds from the Dwayne Olson Legacy. In 2015, plantings were added to the area to stabilize the bluff near the statue. In 2016, the statue was completely refurbished along with the nearby Solomon Juneau statue at a cost of $135,000. Our Sons of Norway Lodge contributed $25,000 for this project. A Sons of Norway Foundation cultural grant was granted as well, and this restoration effort was coordinated by the Juneau Park Friends. The Boston and Milwaukee castings, bases, and inscriptions are nearly identical. The only difference is that the Boston monument includes a Viking ship at the base, and the base has bronze reliefs depicting scenes of the Vikings on the side, and the Milwaukee statue does not. Both the Boston and Milwaukee statues of Leif Erikson were unveiled within 2 weeks of each other in the fall of 1887. The Boston Leif statue was unveiled on October 29th. The Milwaukee statue was unveiled on November 15th. The Milwaukee unveiling took place early on a cold November morning with very little fanfare, unlike the well-publicized unveiling in Boston for their Leif Erikson statue. There are a number of Leif Erikson statues in the U.S. and Iceland. Notice the different styles depicting Leif Erikson. Look closely at this statue of Leif. What words would you use to describe this statue? Here we are in St. Paul, Minnesota. This statue is in Seattle, Washington, home of many Norwegian immigrants. This statue is located in Erikson Institute in Chicago, Illinois. This statue was a gift from the U.S. to Iceland to celebrate 100 years of the Iceland Parliament. This U.S. postage stamp commemorates Leif Erikson Day, October 9th. You may wonder, why isn't the Whitney statue of Leif Erikson a more burly-looking warrior? Thomas Gold Appleton was a wealthy Boston philanthropist and an enthusiast for the Erikson statue. His ideas on the statue's design were that he saw the statue to be, quote, a burly warrior with a bearskin cloak, depicting the moment Leif set foot in Vinland. The resulting Whitney statue is anything but burly. According to critics in Boston of that day, Whitney's Leif is youthful, lithe, and in a jaunty pose, end quote. Whitney was a leading feminist advocate. Perhaps she was challenging the rough and tough masculine image of the day. Was the design patterned after the image of Ole Bull, the violinist who was a leading advocate of the statue? The answer lies with Whitney alone. As you can see in this list, there are many people who were prominent in the development and the advocacy of Leif Erikson to be honored by a statue. Sarah Chapman Bull, pianist and wife of Ole Bull, the violinist. Joseph Thorpe, father of Sarah and a Wisconsin lumber baron and a governor in Wisconsin. Lucy Alice Gilbert paid for the statue, and she was a cousin of Sarah, and she lived across the street at that time when the statue was erected in Milwaukee. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow was a poet and a promoter of Viking lore, and Joseph Thorpe Jr. married a daughter of Longfellow. Rasmus Anderson was a University of Wisconsin professor in the Scandinavian Studies area, and Frederick Olmsted, a famous landscape architect in New York City and other cities including Milwaukee.